All right, with us in the studio is the National Coordinator Concerned Human Rights, Comrade Declan Ehikari. It's nice to have you join us right now.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you.
Now, when it comes to the issue of outsourced employment, and things within that, it has become a part of a common way that employment is generated in Nigeria. But how dangerous is that to the employment subsector that if I have to put it that way?
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate that we have in Nigeria what is called organized labor, but somehow disorganized through the way the workforce is being treated. Casualization, as far as people like us are concerned, is what I call modern slavery. It's work slavery, and it's mostly caused as a result of when demand is higher than the supply. You find out that in this country today, you have so many youths, roaming around the street, and every opportunity to make money, they will always, want to utilize that opportunity. And so when there are openings in most of these organizations, and they are informed that, look, in fact, the saddest part of it is that they will be informed that you will be employed as a casual worker, and gladly.
And they are desperate to
and
take
they are desperate to take it, not minding the consequence and the outcome of what is going to happen.
So he's taking advantage of the vulnerability.
Yes, the vulnerability and the fact that the country needs to work on creating more jobs for its citizenry. So when I heard about the bill, I said to myself, it's long overdue, because our organization had cause to have affiliated with Nigerian Labour Congress in the past to have waged war against this dehumanization of Nigerian workers. If Zimbabwe could have passed a law years ago, and they're enforcing it here, that once you are in organization for about 4 weeks, and automatically, 3 weeks within four consecutive months, you're automatically employed. There's nothing about it. But in Nigeria, we have so many laws, but the consequences of those laws, what falls out from those laws, if those laws are not being taken properly, it's our problem.
So perhaps, is that why some have said that perhaps the enabling environment for this casualization to thrive was already created by the country, because this was not the case some time ago?
Very well, very well. You see, I said it. I said, when demand is higher than the supply, how many organizations, how many companies do we have in this country? Okay? The electricity that should power most of these organizations is not there. So you find out that every organization wants to maximize profit. And you can only maximize profit by making sure that you milk your workforce. Okay, you have more workforce, but you pay them less. So when you pay them less and you have more, what happens? You maximize your profit, and you get more output. Okay, and so it has always been there. But the unfortunate thing is that even in our organized organization like the banks, you find such happening there. They call them outsourcing, where you have subcontractors. The bank is probably, let me give you an instance, as an outsourced staff, probably you are entitled to 120,000 naira. But because you are an outsourced staff, you are like a casual worker. At the end of the month, the people that brought you or the agent that brought you will take 80,000. So you are left with 40,000, but you will work for more than 120,000. All right, so it's quite an unfortunate thing. If only this bill will surely take care of this, I think we'll go a long way. But don't forget one thing. Even if this bill is finally arrives, the government should also help by making sure that our industries that are dead, our companies that are dead, will come back.
Okay. This conversation will certainly continue, and there are other areas we'll certainly like to ask questions from as well. Thank you very much, Comrade Declan, for coming on the program. With us in the studio is the National Coordinator Concerned Human Rights, Comrade Declan Ehikari. It's nice to have you join us right now.
Thank you for joining us.
Great. Now, if you have to break it down for us or for and our viewers to really understand, what really constitutes this casualization that the NLC is kicking against, Nigerians are kicking against, and everyone feels that it negates the standards of employment?
You see, casualization is an advanced what I call advanced work slavery. Advanced work slavery in the sense that certain conditions that a worker should benefit are not in
place.
such kind of employment. For instance, you don't have any welfare attached to you, no health insurance, no pension, no unionization. The labor union itself does not even have a say because people working in such an environment are not allowed to form unions. And the painful aspect of it is that the government loses so much billions of naira if we really look at it, because people working as casual workers are not pensionable. And pensions are meant to generate fund, for the government. They are not taxed.
In the area of unionization, as the case may be, does that constitute something wrong in that regard? Because the point there is not all corporate organizations necessarily have unions.
No. The only organization that I feel that are not necessarily that doesn't necessarily need unionization are like our security agencies, where if you try it, you'll be charged for mutiny and all those things.
But in the area of in other organizations, in fact, why is there need for union in the first place? Is it not when there are so much inadequacies, people try to come together to pool resources together to act as a pressure group? Now, if everything goes on well, why would we need unions?
Everything does not go down well, go on well in this country.
But if
there's nothing like if.
Okay.
You see, when you don't allow your staffs or your workers to speak, you are bound to maltreat them. For instance, if you are a casual worker and you are being oppressed, you don't have access to medical care, you don't have access to a situation where you just wake up in the morning and you get there, you tell you are sacked. Nobody fights for you. You don't even have a gathering where you could ventilate your grievances. It amounts to negation of our constitution that allows you to have freedom of association. It is when you associate with people that you ventilate your anger and you express how you feel. Okay? And so what happens is that most of these organizations are very much aware of the fact that if they allow unionization, it will act as a fight back to the dehumanization of those workers within their organizations. So they try everything possible to stop it. So I remember some time ago, we led a protest to some organizations somewhere around Ogba there, and we told them, we said, you can't keep on using Nigerians, and they will work for you. Suddenly you will sack them. Some of them will have their hand cut off. There's no benefit. And when they speak, you get in the police to start.
And to silence them.
No, not even to silence them. They charge them to court. They say that is conduct likely. Because the police will always have laws or acts to back up every criminality. How can people be protesting the fact that a colleague hand was cut off or was chopped off through a machine in the company, and they decide to ask for the right of that person, and you bring in the police, and the police will now start arresting everybody. So I think it is time our government stands its position by making sure that our laws are respected when it comes to the casualization of our workers. But that is not enough. It's not enough because even if the law comes to be, how do we now create more job? How do we now create better environment for those organizations that are in existence?
All right. We have to leave it here right now. Thank you very much, Comrade Declan, for coming on the program.
Thank you for speaking. With us in the studio is the National Coordinator concerned Human Rights, Comrade Declan Ihekaire. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Yeah, thank you so much.
As much as we are pushing for the criminalization of casualization of workers, but do we have what it takes in terms of perhaps structures and ground as a country to protect the rights of workers and also ensure that when we end this, it will be as effective as it should be?
Yeah, we don't have what it takes to enforce any law that might emanate as a result of the bill that is being that has passed second reading, that has to do with a casualization of workers. What am I saying in essence? How many companies is in existence in this country? Is it comparable to the population of Nigerians looking for work, seeking for work? And like I said earlier, if a particular demand of an item is high, or the supply, it should definitely affect the supply. Now, people looking for work are, in essence, compared to the number of organizations available. So you find a situation where you have people who are ready to do anything, even when they are told that, look, in 2 weeks' time, we're going to sack you. They will say, we're ready, as long as you can get them something. So the government has to create an enabling environment. Make sure that there's electricity supply into most of our organizations. That will reduce the cost of production in most of these organizations, because every organization wants to maximize profit. When you run on diesel 24/7, you spend so much, and when you spend so much, you want to have a higher output. So what do? You try and get cheap labors to achieve your aim. So the government needs to make sure that those that are employing Nigerians or employing people to work as casual workers are also encouraged to make sure that they have stability in their business. Once that is done, you will find that the law will take a proper course.
So invariably, it means that if this is passed, there is an implication to it, because a lot of persons might lose their jobs.
Of course, a lot of people will lose their job, and you might find out that they will go underground. The casualization will be underground, to be coded in the sense that they will tell you clearly, look, don't let the information out, and trust Nigerians who wants to still get some source of a livelihood. What do you expect of them? They will not blow it. They won't say it. They won't say it. Nobody will hear about it. So it's going to be like proscribing an organization when you don't have, when you just proscribe them for proscribing, they will go underground. And when they go underground, they will be dangerous compared to where they were coming from. So there should be an enabling environment where the government will finally say, yes, but we have created the environment for you guys to operate. Why are you now still, making use of our workers, and you are underpaying them?
Well, the NLC, or the organized labor, has been the biggest pressure group in Nigeria over the years, and one expects that they should be able to put pressure on government to have this law passed even long before now. Like you started by saying that it is long overdue, and Nigerians expected that the NLC should be highly interested in this like they are, and also push towards actualizing this a long time ago.
Yeah.
Even with or without the law.
Yeah, see, the issue is this. I don't want to talk for NLC. I would talk against them. I told you I was part of those that led struggles to fight against casualization of workers. But NLC's interest is stop casualization and allow unionization. Allow the workers there to have unions. Because when the unions are formed, NLC gets money from there. That is their own perspective. They cannot deny that fact. Yeah. I have not seen an NLC saying that, no, stop casualization, improve welfare. Okay? Improve welfare, make sure that the environment or those that employ them have full electricity. I tell you, if NLC decides to embark on mass protest today against the discourse in this country, against the supply of electricity, I tell you, things will be better off.
Word. Comrade Declan, thank you for speaking with